What is up, gamers? It's me, Zach Ryan. I'm back. I haven't hosted Patch Notes in a while, but I'm here, and that means that it's the third Wednesday of the month, which means that it's time for another exciting episode of Patch Notes. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a senior producer here on the Twitch community production team. That means Patch Notes. That means Twitch Public Access. That means the Glitch Theater. It's coming from my team. But I'm here with my boss today, Mary Kish. What's up? That's how I introduce you in all settings,
Please
all
don't
social
do that.
circles, every meeting. I say, here's my boss, Mary. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Zach. Hey, everybody. Dan is traveling, and so you're stuck with me and Zach today. We're going to do our best to go through all of the updates since Dan's keynote, which was the last, which we consider basically a patch notes because he's going over the vision and a lot of the future products. So since that, which was in San Diego at TwitchCon last month, we have a couple more updates, and we're excited to go through those with you today and answer your questions.
The keynote is a very special episode of Patch Notes. You know, if we were talking about it in like a promotional video, it would have like sentimental music and, you know, yeah, a very special episode. Dan's not here. Folks are probably wanting to know where Ray is. No one knows. Haven't heard from Ray in a while. No one knows
He
what
had a
happened. Where Ray
baby.
went. Oh, that's right. Congratulations to Ray and his new baby and his whole family. We miss him. We hope they're doing well. And we hope he's enjoying his time off with his new son.
Yeah, he's making a little Ray army, and we're really proud of him. So,
which is a terrifying thought, to be frank.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what the world needs more of is smaller Rays. I don't know if that's true. Mary, inquiring minds want to know, what are you playing right now? What's at the top of your list?
I just played Neva, and I absolutely love it. It's from the people who made Gree. I don't know. No. So okay. No, I was going to say, I do know that I haven't finished it. I think I'm probably I bet you I'm 1 hour out. I'm very close. I can feel it.
Okay.
I can feel it.
Well, I know Gree is not that long, but I also love that game, and I'm literally looking forward to playing Neva as well.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's so good. It's stunning, but the platforming is also extremely good. It's got like some Ori vibes. It's not a Metroidvania,
let's go.
But it's got like Ori platforming situation going on, so you're gonna like it.
You heard it here first, chat.
Well, we're both platforming people, so
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Chat, let us know what you're playing. We wanna hear from you as well. And also, Mary, if they have questions that actually pertain to the topic of the show, as it were, product updates, information, news about Twitch, how can folks get those questions to us so that we can answer them later in the show?
Yeah, so we do really appreciate your feedback, and we do our absolute very best to answer every question that you put on the show. You can ask us questions by putting !ask in chat before your question, or you can also use the Twitch Ask emote. But the best way is to use the extension. It gets routed. That way we absolutely see it, and then we can try and answer them. It's really important to us. A lot of times we'll merge questions, like say like 6 of you have the exact same question about a new update that we had, or you all have the same question. We'll try and merge them so that we can try and answer as many of your questions. So using the update really helps. I ask, Zachary, what are you playing right now?
Ooh, I'm playing Echoes of Wisdom. I'm a big Zelda guy. I'm excited about a new Zelda game anytime one drops. This one is really fun. You play as Zelda this time. I don't know if anybody knew that. News to me, but yeah, it's great. I'm having a good time. It's a really fun kind of mix of like Tears of the Kingdom and Link's Awakening. You know, you're kind of building things to puzzle through stuff. It's a little more puzzle focused. I'm really enjoying my time. I liked Tears of the Kingdom. I'm having a little bit more fun with Echoes of Wisdom because I think it's a different take on Zelda, which I'm always in for. So
I'm very excited to play it because it's GOTY season, and you have to play all the major players during the last part of the year. And I think Zelda's always a contender, so I have to get to it. I haven't played it yet.
Absolutely wild that it's already GOTY season. This year has gone by faster than any year in maybe my lifetime. I don't know, but we're here. It's October. It is spooky season. This is episode 30 of Patch Notes, which is a milestone in and of itself.
So
let's not waste any more time. Let's get into our topics today. Are you ready to start?
Yeah, I am ready. Just one more reminder, definitely like throw your questions in chat. I even see when you're just hanging out in there, I see Chaotic Gabs, Twitch ambassador. Thanks for hanging out with us and spending your time learning a little bit more about the Twitch world and what we're making for you. So to get us started, we're going to start with an update about shared chat. This is a very popular feature. Everyone's very excited about us. So joining us today to give a little insight into the new feature is Senior Product Manager, Adam Butterfoss. So hello, Adam.
Adam, welcome back to Patch Notes.
Hi.
It's been a while.
Glad to be
It's
back.
been a while since we've last seen you. Tell us what's the biggest update that's been going on with you since the last time we saw you.
Well, we just launched shared chat.
Wow.
That's probably been the biggest thing.
He remains on message chat. That is impressive. Well done. I tried to zag on him and he wasn't having it. Adam, when you were last on the show, you were talking about how you were going to learn how to do a kickflip. Did you learn how to do that?
Unfortunately, no. I'm still working on that. Hopefully by New Year's.
Okay. That's all right. There's time for all of us to learn a kickflip.
But
Adam, today we're
learning about
shared
chat. This is very exciting because it's very popular, a very popular feature, and everyone's really excited to hear more about it. What can you tell us about shared chat today, Adam?
Sure. So over the last year, we focused on making a lot of improvements on how streamers collaborate, because not only are collaborations fun for communities, they're also one of the best ways for streamers to reach new audiences and grow their channel. And so a few weeks ago, as I mentioned, we launched our latest collaboration feature called Shared Chat. And Shared Chat allows you to bring other communities together for a combined chat experience. And streamers in the collaboration can react and respond to multiple communities without the need to open up multiple tabs and look at multiple chats.
Adam, we have a comment here from Little Bezian who says, "Hi, I just wanted to share that, or I just want to say that I love shared chat. It makes such a difference for a stream together," which is awesome. Because I wanted to ask you a little bit about what the reception has been like from the community, how the launch has gone. What can you tell us a little bit about what the community has said about shared chat?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, so far the feedback's been really, really positive. We heard from our early adopter streamers that they really like it so far. They mentioned that shared chat helped them connect to new communities and that the experience is really fun for them and their viewers. And I know myself, I've really enjoyed jumping in on a bunch of shared chats and seeing how the community responds. It's been super fun.
That's awesome. I also wanted to quickly shout out in the chat. I just saw Rustum the Best raiding with a party. So thank you, Rustum, for the raid. We always appreciate a raid over here on Patch Notes. So you talked a little bit about the community reception. For those folks who have not yet used shared chat, how can folks get involved? How can streamers start using shared chat?
Yeah, so shared chat is available today through our Stream Together product. To start a shared chat, the host of the Stream Together session can enable the feature from the backstage by clicking on the Start Shared Chat button. And that's either before you add guests or even after they're already in the session. It's important to note, though, that guests have to be live in order to join a shared chat. And streamers can leave the shared chat while remaining in the Stream Together session at any time, and their community will leave with them. So if you're not enjoying it, you can always leave. But if you are, you can jump back in the session and rejoin at any time. While you're in the shared chat, all the collaborators' communities will be able to directly chat and engage with each other and sort of enjoy the shared chat.
Cool. That's awesome. One question we had for you additionally was, can you see which chat messages come from which streamer's community? Is there a differentiation between the communities within shared chat?
Yeah, so while in a shared chat, streamers and mods will see the source channel's profile image as a visual indicator in front of the chat messages to make them easily identify members from their own communities. For viewers, shared chat works a little differently. We don't show the channel profile images next to the chat messages. However, on web, you can hover over the badge or the username, and it'll reveal which community the chat came from. On mobile, we don't have this feature yet, but soon you'll be able to see the channel source by tapping on the username.
Yeah, I think that's something that our community has been asking a lot is when mobile, how will you be able to do this through your phone? And something that's really important to Twitch is parity. If you can do it on a desktop, eventually you should be able to do it on your mobile device just the same. So it sounds like you're working on it.
Yeah, shared chat still works. You'll still see all the messages, but just that source channel, we're still working on the feature to sort of reveal that.
That makes sense. Now, another hot topic when it comes to shared chat is moderation. There's certainly many ways you could have gone about this, but can you tell us a bit about how moderators can contribute to shared chat and maybe why you made the decisions that you made to get us where we are?
Sure. So first and foremost, we want to make sure that shared chat is a fun and positive experience for streamers in their communities. So during a shared chat, mods can take moderation actions on users from their own community, just like normal, and will have the ability to take mod actions against users from other communities, but with some limitations. Mods can delete messages from chatters in other channels, but that message will only be deleted in their channel. If a mod deletes a message from their own channel, it'll be removed from all channels in the shared chat. Mods can also time out and ban viewers from other channels, but this will only impact the viewers of other channels for the duration of shared chat. So they can't chat during that if they're banned in another channel, but they can still see and see chat from the other channel's perspective. But if a mod does ban someone from a different channel, they remain banned in the mod's channel going forward, but it won't impact them in the other channels in the shared chat afterwards.
Okay, so essentially moderators have moderation control over the channel that they're moderating, but not the holistic shared chat. So actions that you're taking won't impact the other person's stream, because streamers have different bars of what's acceptable, right? And if I'm streaming with my friend and I allow certain phrases or terms and they do not, then they can remove them, but my chat will have the experience that they're adjusted to on my channel. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we're going for. We're trying to find the happy medium to make sure it's still fun and safe, but you still have control over what your community sees.
Yeah. And then just as a follow-up to mods, because that is how moderators would do it, what about auto mod, which is such a natural addition? Is that the same?
Yeah, so the streamer's still in charge of their own channel, as I mentioned earlier. Moderation settings like auto mod and who's allowed to chat in the channel, and settings like chat modes for like follow only, for instance, only apply to their own channel shared chat. So my automat settings take precedent. And that affects only people from my channel chatting. For more details, and there's a lot of them, on how moderation works during a shared chat, you should check out the shared chat help article.
I'm going to go ahead and just drop that in the chat right now. Shared chat help article. I'll type live and then link that here. A lot of great info about how moderation works with shared chat. Thank you to you and your team for putting that together. The last thing that we want to ask is just what else should folks know about shared chat? It's a new product. People are excited about it, but what are the things that people need to know before we kind of wrap up here, Adam?
Yeah, so as you said, shared chat is a new product, and our team is hard at work collecting community feedback and building additional features to make shared chat even better. We'll also be working to expand shared chat for use with third-party collaboration tools such as Discord or when streaming together IRL. And so look for more updates on that soon. If you have any feedback or suggestions on how to improve shared chat, please submit them to us over in User Voice.
Cool. We love a user voice plug. Mary, you were going to say something about user voice, perhaps?
Yeah, I always naturally bring up user voice because it comes up a lot in our feedback loops for community. Some of the feedback I get from user voice is often people feel like they put stuff in user voice and they don't hear anything, even if it gets a lot of upvotes, like maybe there's no comment or there's no really nice conclusion to putting something in user voice. And that is probably not the best experience, but I think it's really important to understand that user voice often, even if there's no comment or it doesn't look like it's been officially resolved, gets read. And I read it all the time. And Adam, you also told me that you read user voice all the time just to get an understanding of what our audience's interests are, what their concerns are with products, and that you are consistently reading user voice.
Yeah, I look at it all the time, especially when I launch a product. I'm trying to figure out, hey, did this land? Did this not land? What changes can we make to it? So yeah, like you said, we may not always respond to it, but I'm always trying to read it and get insights to make sure we're sort of building the stuff the community wants.
Right on.
Great. I mean, I think it's great that you are reading it and that you are actively looking. I think that it's important just to remind everybody, we might not always have the perfect feedback loop, but user voice is a wonderful tool that helps us see what you're interested in, and also the upvote system helps us to see how many people feel very similarly to the way you feel. And even like the show is a great way to get your feedback. So when you ask questions in this show, even if we can't answer them because we don't have the answer offhand, we can send that to the designers and the engineers and other people working behind the scenes at Twitch to say, okay, this is something people are curious about and interested in, and we need to figure out how we're going to answer it. So it is very helpful when you ask those questions. So thanks for sending them in.
longtime patch notes enjoyers will remember and think fondly of all the times that Ray and I have advocated for user voice, and all the times that folks have come on from product from different parts of around the company and talked about that direct feedback influencing the way that we update or shape a new product, or etc. So yeah. Before you go, Adam, I just wanted to share one more comment with you from the chat. XSavageBoy2X says, this whole feature is a massive W, and this helps with exposure for new streamers as well. So shout out to you and your team for working on a product that folks are really digging.
All right.
Awesome. Love to hear it. The team's very excited about it. So looking forward to some more future shared chats.
Cool.
Thanks,
we'll have you
Adam.
back for Q&A because I did see some questions floating around additionally. So stick around and we'll bring you back at the end of the show after a few more updates.
Sounds good. Thanks, Zach.
See ya.
Thanks, Adam. Now, Zach, I also have a question from chat from Curly
Okay.
David. It says, "Hey, Zach, are you keeping drama queens banned or away from Twitch who make up drama? Why are there lowlifes on this platform? Major question." And then there's a lot of question marks after it to just, carry it home.
Yeah. This is a great question. I also saw this in the chat and was trying to avoid it. So thank you for bringing this up here, Mary.
Yeah.
I don't know what this question is about.
Here.
Yeah. Mary, as I addressed at the top of the show, you're my boss. So why don't you field that one? You've got the expertise. You go right ahead. Yeah.
Well, I would say that it's very difficult when you're working on the cusp of technology, and what we do here is literally deal with things as they happen because they happen in real time. So this isn't Minority Report. We don't know 100% that somebody's going to break our rules in advance. Once somebody does break our rules, there's lots of ways that you can take actions and report and get rid of those lowlifes. So we would love to have your help to make sure that we can remove people who are breaking our systems. And you can do that with the handy dandy report button, which sends a report to our team so that we can take action on them. So help us, help you get rid of those lowlifes. Thank you.
I thought that was an excellent answer, Mary, and I'm glad that I handed the baton off to you. Well done. Let's get to some additional updates this month. First up, mobile app updates. I see a lot of folks in chat asking about the mobile app, commenting about the mobile app. We see a lot of user voice comments about the mobile app. We know that the mobile app is being discussed widely. So those of you that caught the opening ceremony at TwitchCon San Diego, Mary, you were there. You may have heard about some upcoming changes to the mobile app. You want to talk a little bit about those?
Sure. So earlier this year, we launched the new app design with a feed of live content to help streamers grow by helping new viewers find content quickly. That was the impetus, the motivational reason that we altered the app. And Dan actually went into that a lot in his keynote. So you can also watch the keynote for his. I think he started by essentially saying, why did we update the mobile app? Why would you do this? Why? And so he explained that. And there is some data that shows us some benefits of the change, although we've absolutely seen the feedback. And so we'll get to that. I just wanted to express that since rolling it out, we've seen a number of video plays increase by 60% on iOS and double on Android. And we've seen the number of follows increase by 8% with 38 million new follows coming from the feed. So good data that at least shows that there's more video plays, but that's not the only thing that we should be talking about when we're measuring the value of the mobile app. Isn't that right, Zach?
Yeah, as I mentioned, like we see these comments, whether regardless of the platform, whether here in chat or over on Twitter, which I refuse to call X, or in user voice, right? We've heard that feedback loud and clear around wanting an easier way to interact with the streamers that you already love and follow. So in a few weeks, you'll be able to swipe to the right and access your full following page with thumbnails, stream details, and a continue watching shelf similar to what you have seen on the following page in the old app. The app will still open up on the live feed so we can continue to help streamers grow their communities. But the ability to quickly interact with your favorite streamers is coming back, which is great. So
yeah, I think this was like the major thing that people heard, which is, yeah, maybe this is helpful for new viewers, but I use the mobile app to see the people that I watch all the time. And now you've made it more difficult for us to watch the streamers that we love. That's like so valid, and we should fix that. So we did. And later this year, we'll also be letting you filter your feed by a specific category or collection. We'll continue innovating and updating the Twitch mobile app experience, and we welcome your feedback along the way. This app is not done. And so I think just something to remember is that we are going to be consistently updating this throughout the rest of this year, where there's not that much left, and next year as well. So there's a lot more to come.
Where, if people have feedback about the app, where should they send that, Mary?
Does
anyone know, chat? Does anyone know where they can put the feedback?
I'm sure that Science, who's in chat right now, would be able to remind everybody that you can use user voice. It is a very helpful way for us to see all the feedback for the mobile app and sift through it. Also happy to take your questions as well through this entire show. Like I said, even if we can't literally answer it during the show, we usually can send it to the team so they can figure out a good answer that we can answer at a later time.
Somewhere out there, Ray is so proud of us for plugging user voice as much as we've done, you know?
I love it. I will just be annoying and always talk about it, because I think it is important. And maybe this is my lifeblood, because as a community manager, one of the things we always have to talk about is how do we deal with feedback when you're dealing with so many millions and millions of users monthly. You can't really receive thousands or tens of thousands of pieces of feedback and organize it properly. User voice is actually like the best way we found to organize large swaths of feedback. Something that's very difficult for us to utilize, and I've talked about this at length in community forums, is Twitter. It's extremely difficult for me to parse feedback on Twitter, even though it has value because you can upvote there too. That is a lot harder for us to effectively use and say, this is very clearly streamers, whereas user voice is logged in with your user account. So we can say, oh my God, look how many partners agree with this point. So it's just like so nice, as opposed to Twitter or other methods that are more difficult for us to navigate and utilize effectively and get change.
Yeah, that's awesome. Another great plug. Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome. I'll do it again. and I'll do it again.
I'm sure you will. Last week we introduced some enforcement notes. Sorry, I said some enforcement notes, but what I'm saying is we introduced enforcement notes, additional clarifications and examples about how we apply our community guidelines. So we want our rules to be as easy to follow as possible, and by sharing this additional information, our goal is to make it clear where our enforcement lines are. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so going forward, we're going to use enforcement notes, the thing we launched just last week, to address trends we see on Twitch or to address community confusion around how certain policies are applied. These notes won't replace our other communications. They're just meant to provide a source of truth for how policies are enforced. And when we publish a new enforcement note, we'll notify you on Twitch support, usually through our Twitter handles. So hilariously enough, we use Twitter to tell you. It's a good way to just say what the official status of is quickly, and kind of just get it out there for you. We want to clarify that with the launch of enforcement notes, we didn't change the community guidelines. So one of the things that we heard was this enforcement note is new, and now we have to change a lot of our systems. VTubers were very aware of saying, hey, is this like new? Is this additional? But it's not a change. It's examples of what behaviors would violate rules so that those rules are easier to follow and ideally less likely to trip you up.
Right. So you just mentioned VTubers, and while we're on that subject, I wanted to just address some of the concerns raised by that community over the course of the last week. As we shared over the summer, our attire policy applies to both human streamers and VTubers, and we've seen questions around whether our swimwear guidelines also apply to VTubers, for example, and the answer is, of course, yes. VTubers can wear permitted swim attire and when streamed within the appropriate category and with the necessary content classification labels. This has obviously been a hot topic in this past week. So we'd like to take this time to let you know that we're actually going to be putting together a unique stream dedicated to VTubers, and that should happen in the next few weeks. We want to talk in specifics about why these decisions were made, what the impact is, how people can follow these guidelines, etc. So we want and appreciate your feedback, Mary. And we'll be putting together a stream specifically to talk about this topic, because that's what we like to do over here on TCP. When we see these sort of big issues rise up within the community, we want to put our heads together and figure out a way to address stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think that the VTuber community is extraordinarily valid, valuable to Twitch, and we really appreciate VTubers. We just released and launched a VTuber club, which is specifically for the VTuber community to find and meet other like-minded VTubers, and then they get access to a Twitch exclusive Discord and opportunities. And so we are absolutely invested in the VTuber community, and we want to make sure that you can stream safely and effectively and reach your goals. So we want to make sure that you understand, that you know why we've made these clarifications and why we are having these rules in place for you. And I think it's also important to establish that dialogue, because the VTuber community is so rich and so diverse on Twitch that it kind of warrants its own independent stream. So you can look forward to that. We haven't set a date to it yet. And the reason is because we have a lot of people traveling right now. And so we just want to make sure we have all of our ducks in a row, but we will be launching a VTuber stream probably within the next 2 weeks, so that we can talk a little bit more in depth about those rules and answer any questions that you might have.
Right on. We have a couple more announcements that we're going to burn through here before we get to Q&A. We want to talk specifically about ads in this next one. Many folks have asked for more transparency, specifically to know how other streamers are running ads. They want to look at their peers and see how they're utilizing ads and kind of gauge in that way. And we're happy to share some new insights with you today on Patch Notes about that specifically.
All monetizing streamers, so both affiliates and partners, will see notifications via their creator dashboard homepage. We'll be sharing more information about how streamers like you are running ads, so you have more data points to decide what number of ads is right for your channel.
Yeah, sorry, I just lost my place. This is a period of time. This is the period of time every year that advertisers spend more for ad campaigns, which means that streamers have the opportunity to earn more as well. So we'll be sharing insights about the potential ad revenue that you can earn by running more ads until the end of the year.
Yeah, no, what I want to clarify here, though, is that the goal isn't to say there's more advertising dollars on Twitch towards the end of the year. This is very normal, right? People tend to spend more in the last quarter of the year because they have budgets and they have to spend them, right? So there's an influx of advertising revenue that tends to come in at the end of any year for any business. And that's the same with Twitch, but not every creator has the same goals. And so while we're going to give you more information of how your peers might be running ads and the benefits or the values that they receive from it, ultimately the power is up to you for how many ads you want to run. This information is helped to let you, a gamer, min-max your own channel, and you can just figure out what is best for your goals, for your own individual needs. Not everybody is trying to make as much money as humanly possible. Some people are trying to grow. Some people are actually extraordinarily education-based, and so they're like, the fact that I just get to share my message with people is the most important thing. So I don't want as many ads. That will still be left in your hands. And that is extremely important to us. So we've been given a lot of requests from the community to just give you more information, so you feel like what you're doing is on par with other people, or at least the knowledge that if you run this many ads, that's the max amount of value. And if you go higher on ads, sure, you'll make more money, but it's not as good of a value as the smaller amount. So like, where is that perfect spot? That's what this information is meant to help you decide.
Yeah, I think your point about creator goals being different from, streamer to streamer is really important here, right? Like being able to customize to that extent and really shape your channel in a way that works for you and feels correct is important. So that's what this update's all about.
It's true. Question.
Okay,
Who
go
did?
ahead.
Why is this one's a spicy? I love doing a couple spicies just in between. Why is Twitch no longer a gaming site? Who did 9/11? That's a terrible name. That shouldn't be allowed.
First and foremost,
First of all, you shouldn't be allowed on Twitch. I would say that Twitch actually is a gaming website. It has a massive amount of gaming on Twitch, but our number one category for like the last 3 years now has been just chatting. And that actually says something about the website and about you and about the viewers that enjoy this place. The community actually tells us what's the most popular and valid thing to do on Twitch. And it's amazing that in addition that gaming will always be our bread and butter. It's always like the most incredible thing that we have on this service, that there's an interest in just watching people talk and hanging out with them. And so the fact that just chatting is so popular tells us that people want to watch things outside of games, and that's great. And so we'll support that as much as we can, in addition to all of the awesome games that you like watching.
Yeah, and I love video games. You know, I've built a decade-long career about my love for video games, but I also am deeply interested in art and cooking and things like that. And I think my favorite thing about Twitch is like I predominantly use Twitch for those sorts of outlets, right? Like I like to play video games in a very specific way that I like to play them. And I don't necessarily feel the need to share that with the community at large. But when I was streaming a lot, I streamed a lot of just chatting. I talked a lot about movies. I talked a lot about art, and like that was really fulfilling for me. So I know I get the impetus of the question here, right? Like people want to see gaming. They want to see themselves reflected in the content that they're consuming. But there's plenty of gaming on Twitch still, and there's plenty of other opportunities for all kinds of different content creation, which is my favorite part about Twitch.
It's true. Thorlar also says they like your mic sticker art.
Thank you. Let me show this off a little bit. See this? This is Godzilla. He's just like a little chibi guy version of him. I have a lot of Godzilla art around my room. I don't know if you can see. I've got some stuff back there. I've got these guys over here above my TV. I'm a big fan of Godzilla. Fan. And now I'm making the whole chat sick by really messing up my camera and also really annoying our technical director, Mark. Sorry, Mark. That's all my Godzilla stuff. What's the next topic, Mary?
Well, the next topic is mobile and gift subs. Did you know that you can save on mobile when you give 5 or more gift subs? These discounts are already available on web for tier 1 subs, and now it's available on mobile in 40 countries.
Discounts are automatically applied when eligible viewers select 5 or more tier 1 gift subs, and the final price is shown at checkout. If you don't see that discount applied via your mobile app, probably just need to update it. And as a reminder, this discount is shared between Twitch and you. You'll continue to receive payouts according to your revenue and share after fees and discounts. I'm going to drop a link in the chat here that has the full details of this promotion. Take a look at that. Chat. Why not? One topic left, Mary.
Okay.
And then we're going to get into our Q&A.
Okay. Keep those questions coming. We'll be getting to them very shortly. Last week was World Mental Health Day. We launched a new mental health resource that can be accessed via a widget in the crisis prevention page in the Safety Center. And you can find that at safety.twitch.tv. And I'm just going to reiterate this because that was a mouthful. We have a lot of different things that you can access to learn about your personal safety at our Safety Center. The Safety Center is safety.twitch.tv. And in that Safety Center, you can find a crisis prevention page, which is very valuable. And we've gotten really good feedback that our creators want things like this so that they can have access to them if they need them. So now you have access to it right now.
Using this widget, you can filter comprehensive resources by a specific topic for a specific location and be directed to services nearby or local to you. This, you can see here, this widget provides resources to over 100 countries and is available in 11 different languages.
We wanted to create a centralized and global hub of resources. These offer real-time support that you can access whenever you need it. If you check it out, you can see how you can get help for specific topics like bullying. You can see that was listed here. And then what's really interesting is that these also will show you with a little nodule if they're 24/7 and if they're open right now. And they will give you multiple ways to access them, whether it is a phone number, a website, or an email that you can message them so that you can get direct access right away. There's so many different avenues for you to receive assistance. There's online chat systems you can see right there, and they actually link right to them if you need to text, call, online chat. Not everybody gets help in the same way. You might find that you would prefer texting somebody to talk to someone about what's going on, whereas others might want to call or receive help right away if this isn't more of a really intense situation. You deserve the right to be able to look after yourself and your well-being. I believe very strongly that as creators, you're putting yourself out there. You are out there for the world to see, and you can have bad days. Everybody can. Mental health should not have a stigma. You should be able to feel really comfortable asking for the help that you need, and you should be getting it because you are so worthy and you are so deserving of having a healthy space and feeling safe in your space. So please use this. Please tell your other streamers or even the other people about it. It's very valuable, and I think it's going to get a lot of good use. And even if it helps one person, that is worth it. So please talk about it. Please share it. Please tell your buddies and check on them too. I think it's actually the easiest thing that you can always do is just ask your friends how they are and do a little check-in every once in a while. Okay, so be good to each other.
Well said, Mary. Yeah, I think the important thing to realize here is that you've got options, right? I think one of the things that really jumps out to me is like a lot of people have trouble even asking for help in this way or, talking about the way that they're feeling or the things that they're going through. And I think, a live chat, an email, even a phone call is a different way to approach these kinds of situations. Figure out what works right for you if you need that sort of help and talk to somebody about it. And this is an awesome resource for that. So I'm really glad that this is here. Mary, it's time for Q&A segment. You ready for some questions and some answers? That's what Q&A
I am. I hope that's true. That's so accurate. Thank you for submitting your questions. We're going to try and get to as many of them as we can in our remaining time. And I think to do that, we might need our guest back, right, Zach?
Yeah, let's welcome back to the show Adam Butterfoss to talk a little bit more about shared chat. Hi, Adam. What have you been doing in the time that you've been off the show?
Oh, it's been hard at work improving everything on Twitch.
Great. He's unflappable, chat. It's crazy. Wow.
This guy's had PR training.
That's right.
Just like not even phased.
Not even a spin on it. Just, yeah. Okay. Let's get into some questions. Mary, you want to take this first one?
Sure. This first one is from Nick Shorty. Is the stories feature only an experimental one because only a handful of streamers seem to use it? Is that for us to answer?
Oh, this is not for Adam. We've welcomed you back onto the show. Maybe a little bit too early. We'll reorganize these questions. Sorry, Adam. I'll go ahead and field this one.
Keep him in here. I like Adam. I don't want him to leave.
We'll panel with you for a little bit. Stories creation, currently limited to affiliates and partners only, but we may consider expanding access to more streamers down the line. To answer your question, Nick Shorty. Not a question about shared chat, excuse me. I'm being instructed from production. What's this? To go to line 46. Here are some questions from Adam Butterfoss. Adam, Bainzarian asks, with shared chat becoming available and easier to use along with recent email survey regarding the use of it, there was a question of cross-channel hype train subs bits along with a freeform other for requests for additional features. Will shared raids and views be coming soon, which would help with getting eyes on collaborating streamers?
So yeah, we are looking into showing the combined viewership for channels that are in a Stream Together session with shared chat enabled, but we'll have more to share on that soon.
Cool.
And I think
Mary, we got another one?
Yeah, sure. I think also what's important to understand is a lot of times like these problems have never even been asked before because this product is 100% new. No other services offer like shared chat. So a lot of times when Adam, you're saying something like, oh yeah, we are like literally looking into that. It's because you are actually looking into solving those problems as you're talking to us about them, because this product is very much in the works. Like you are figuring these things out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shared chat brings a very sort of combined community experience. So that affects how how streams are discovered, how you find streams throughout all the different experiences on Twitch. So we're trying to figure out how to make all that work together.
That's entirely right. Bainzarian, thank you for the question. And I hope that gave you some clarity into how we're thinking about approaching it. Our next question for Adam is from Casey Snow Art. Is there a way to block certain people from knocking or trying to stream with you? I have some folks who I don't know how to take no. Oh, sorry. I'm going to say this again. I have some folks who I don't know how to take no for an answer, and I don't want to accidentally accept them.
Yeah, so currently users who are banned, blocked, or timed out rather, cannot knock on your channel. So that is one way to sort of prevent that behavior.
Yeah,
That makes
that's
sense.
true.
Yeah.
There's also the ways where you can limit who knocks on your channel as well, right? Like you
Right.
can have it only be people in your friends group. You can do partners. You can limit a lot by checking out the settings channel. So in addition to the banned, blocked, and timeout, which is just automatic, that makes sense, right? That you wouldn't want someone who you've banned to knock on your channel. The amount of people who would want that is like so small. So yeah, that makes sense. You can also look to your own list of who you want to be able to knock on your channel so that you feel more comfortable with who's knocking. Same with rating as well, which makes sense. Yeah.
Another question for you, Adam. This one from Lime SDR. If we are a follower or subscriber of both streamers, do we need to be in both channels to acquire both channel points while in shared chat or stream together?
Yes. So right now you need to be watching on the channel to earn channel points for that channel. It's an interesting proposal, though. Something I'd certainly like to talk to the team about, though.
Awesome. Another question from Lord Supreme Kara asks, what happens if someone has a blocked term in one chat, but the other streamer doesn't have that same blocked term? Can the blocked term be seen in shared chat?
So right now, block terms only apply to chatters from your community. But this is an area where we're looking for feedback. As Mary mentioned, this is a new product. We're trying to figure everything out here. So we're trying to see if this is something we should share. Should we share block terms across the shared chat community? But right now, it only applies to your chatters.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like one of the things we have to like consider is the alternatives. If you did allow that, there's all sorts of use cases that would bother maybe one streamer who doesn't want that term. Period. Right. And so that's a really interesting question of like whether or not you would want that to be allowed or blocked in both. I think ultimately for the best user experience, you would still be watching the shared chat in the streamer that you are more likely to be watching at that given time, because that would be the community that you're more likely to be spending time with, as opposed to being in the other person's community. So that probably seems like it would be the best use case for the user, but definitely interesting to see how you're going to solve a lot of these problems, Adam.
Absolutely.
Mary, we've got one last question for Adam.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Turbo. Oh gosh, I don't know if I'm saying this right. Turbo Fidaken. Does shared chat show up in VODs?
Yeah, so shared chat messages will appear in VODs just like any normal chat message. You won't see the badges and stuff from their own community, but you will see all the message content from anyone in the shared chat.
Awesome. Adam, that's all the questions from chat today for you regarding shared chat. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Hope we get to come back soon and talk about shared chat updates, but we're going to give you the old boot and say thank you very much. And then Mary and I are going to handle some of these other questions. So thanks so much, Adam.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Thanks, Adam.
Do you think it was rude when I said I was going to give him the boot?
No, I think that's become more of like a polite term.
Great.
You know?
Yeah, I would feel bad if I heard Adam's feelings.
How did that make you feel?
I feel good about it. You know, I feel okay. Okay, so Mary, just from a production standpoint, we're going to hop back up to line 42 and we're going to cruise through these questions.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and start here with Little Bayesian, who asks, clip errors happen a lot. Any advice on why that may be? Do you have an answer for that, Mary?
Well, I'm sorry that you've had clip errors. We've been investing a lot into updating clips, and it would really depend on the type of error you are experiencing. You can reach out to support. That's probably what I would do in a situation where I feel like the product is not working the way I want it to. But if this is a general question where you're essentially saying like, clip bad, I can't clip good, that sounds like a user voice thing where you're trying to tell us that it's not functioning the way you wish it was, right? So it's like, it's more of like a design issue and you wish it was designed differently. User voice is perfect for that. If you think you have a bug, that is a support question. So you could pick your poison. I don't have too much more I can give you without knowing what the issue is, like what the error is. But I will say that helping us and sending us bugs is a great way for our team to be able to see if we can replicate it and then solve it, which is the fastest way for any team to be able to fix a widespread issue. So hopefully we can get that solved for you.
A couple of different options there, Mary. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. I'm going to read this next one.
Sure.
Pumpsonius?
Sure.
I did my best.
Yes.
Can you set up following page automatic open on app launch? Okay, so this is a mobile question.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So I was going to say the app will continue on the live feed page by default. That is a discoverability play, and but the following page is just one swipe away. So a simple swipe to the right reveals all the folks that you follow. It's right there for you. So easy peasy on that front.
I agree. The fact that you can just one swipe to your follows is a much easier way, I think, to find the people that you want to find. But if you're just looking for a feed to scroll through, then that's also there.
But what if I hate swiping?
Then I would not use a phone.
Okay, great. I'm just going to get one of those little flippy guys. Next question comes from Legit Rando NGL, who asks, can we please get a functioning block feature which blocks people from seeing your chats or presence in viewer lists after blocking them? Mary? Right.
So you might be conflating block with mute. The mute feature doesn't stop harassment. It just prevents someone from commenting in your chat. That's what muting someone does, or timing them out, if that's how you want to say it. Our current block feature filters the block person's messages out of chats you don't moderate, while also preventing them from following you, subscribing you, or even watching your live streams. So we have essentially prevented someone who is blocked from even watching your stream while they're logged in. That's good feedback. We can take it back to our teams of not being able to see period anywhere, like no viewer lists and things like that. It's a complicated issue because a lot of times when somebody is heck bent on harassing you, they tend to do, they tend to log out, right? And we have less control over someone who wants to log out. But we agree with users that if it's important to you that when you block someone that they're out of here, we agree with you on that. Like if you've removed someone from your space, they shouldn't be able to watch you while they're logged in. So we've gone ahead and done that. So I would encourage you, in case that was like a typo or just like a misuse, block that user. Don't just mute them. Block them if you want them out of your space.
Mary, our next question comes from Play It Jason. He says, Dan mentioned that 1440p was coming to streamers who use enhanced encoding on OBS. Is there a date for that?
We announced our plans to bring 1440p viewing to Twitch for streamers during using enhanced broadcasting at TwitchCon San Diego. We do not have a date at this time, but we will have more to share on the timeline and details early next year. Soz, it sucks to not be able to give you a date. Usually when we put things in the keynote, this is like a little behind the scenes. We usually are like saying like, well, the time frame should be within the next several months so that this isn't something you're waiting forever on. So it's coming, but there's no date just yet.
Play It Jason wants to play it in the most high definition, and I respect that.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? And I also think when we go back to the gaming question, why do you think that we put so much energy into having the highest resolution streaming or like the highest frame rate? It's not usually for the classic just chatting stream. It's for gamers, baby. We did that for you. That's so that you can actually play the games in the highest resolution possible, lossless. Like that's ultimately like why that's so important to us. So we'll continue iterating and making sure that that works for you.
Yeah, that's a great point, Mary. The next question comes from Chonky Lotus, which is a username that I love. Is it possible to have 2 or 3 months in advance in future clothing policy changes and notification for VTubers before they are enforced? I know rules apply to everyone equally, and that is fine, but VTubers go through a process of commissioning art and riggers, and it takes months and lots of money to plan ahead for it. It would greatly help. This is a great question. Actually,
it is good. I saw a lot of this type of chatter from VTubers when we talked about the when we tried to clarify a lot of the rules for the community, and a lot of VTubers said exactly what Chunky Lotus is saying, which is our rigging systems take a long time. So if we have to update our rigging systems and hire someone to make a new model for us, that costs money, it takes a lot of time, and we need to know in advance. So that is really good feedback. We should be giving you lots of time to prepare yourself. So thank you for saying that. In this very specific case, so the announcement we made last week, we did not make any changes to our existing policy. We didn't change the rules. We do want to make sure that when we update our rules, the community has time to adjust to those changes. There is always the occasional time where we have to make quick changes. So I unfortunately, I can't promise you that we would never make a quick change, because sometimes we'll be like, oh my God, there's a new meta. Like there's something that our community is doing that we did not intend. And we need to be able to pivot quickly from that. But in this case, we did not do that. This was an existing policy. And in fact, we have not seen a increase in the amount of violations since we've made that update last week. So just as like an additional piece for you, we haven't seen any increase. So this hasn't resulted in an increase. That is good. But it's still valid that we should be careful, especially with VTubers, considering the fact that it's a lot of time and money to make your models, that you should know in advance that your model might break our TOS. So good feedback, and we appreciate that. So thank you.
Yeah, a great shout.
This next one is from our beloved ambassador, Science Streams. Will seasonal ad dashboard information be present year-round? This would be really helpful. That's a good question.
Yeah, I'll take this one because I know a lot about ads. For insights around similar streamers to you and how they're running ads, we want to see how monetizing streamers use this information. If it's impactful and helpful, this will determine if the insight becomes permanent. So yeah, that's what we got.
It's a classic experiment answer. And for someone like Science who loves experiments to decide, this should be very familiar with you. So ultimately, we'll be looking from feedback from the community of how you actually utilize this information. If a lot of people are like, this is like too much and you're just inundating me with stuff, and also I feel like you're like pressuring me with ads, then maybe that's not a good experience. So we won't keep it year round. As far as I think this will go, I suspect that most of our audience really likes additional analytics and tends to ask for additional insights into what they think will benefit their channel. So I suspect that this will become something that we modify, we make it leaner, meaner, and then we make it year round. So that's what I suspect will happen, but we'll see. We'll see actually how everybody uses it and if they like it before we make that call.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I was also going to point out here is like people like analytics, you know, like we're gearing up now for our bonus, not our bonus round, I'm sorry, but our end of year wrap up, right? Like we streamers like to look at their dashboards and see what works for them and what doesn't and sort of tweak and min-max, right? Like we were talking about earlier. So yeah, this is an experiment just for that, like really good info. Thank you, Mary. This last question is a fun one, and I think maybe we can both help answer this, Mary.
Okay.
Marcus Metsu asks, I get a lot of people following me, but I'm struggling to get people to talk in the chat. How do I go about this? This is a great question. I think that streamers, you know, especially as folks are starting out, kind of struggle with this, like the interaction with chat, encouraging people to chat in on their channels, etc. Ask questions, use polls, identify new users as they're coming in, right? These are some of the things that I think when I first started streaming, that was really important to me, was just like shout people out, make them feel welcome, ask them questions. You'll notice if you go back to the top of the tape here today, I was asking chat about what games they were playing and encouraging folks to ask questions that we were responding to. I think chat is a two-way street. And if you want people to be interacting in the chat, you want to interact with them as well. But Mary, you stream much more consistently than I do and have been at it longer. What are your words of sage advice for Marcus Metsu?
I think that your advice is really good. I think there's lots of ways that you can encourage people to chat. But my other piece of advice would be any time that you're hanging out and streaming and your chat isn't super active is a really great time for you to practice always be talking. So ABT is a very natural thing that any streamer should get really adjusted to. You can check out Creator Camp for a lot of good tips and tricks for how to improve your streaming and how you can just make your space a good stream environment so that when you do get people chatting, you're ready for it. Ultimately, whether or not someone is chatting, you should actually still be quite active on your chat. So I've gotten really adjusted to talking to nobody, talking to myself, talking about my day, reacting to the gameplay live. I like to think out loud. I even have a rule in my chat, which is if I'm playing a game that's a puzzle game, my rule is I'm talking out loud because I'm thinking about the puzzle. Don't answer me. And so I ask a lot of questions that are actually not meant for my chat to be involved in. They're meant for me so that I can be like, oh, I see. When I ring this bell, the levers shift. And so that's how I'm solving this puzzle in real time. It's not meant for chat to actually engage with me. And so I encourage you to do that too. Talk to yourself, talk out loud, tell everybody what you're thinking and use it as practice. It's incredible practice when no one's in your chat or no one's like actively chatting. And then when they are chatting, now you have someone to banter back and forth with. But not having anyone chatting is not a good excuse to not be engaged in your stream and just having fun with it. So that's my advice. Thor is in our chat. He said, I find speaking about my thoughts as I'm going through the game helps a lot. I like totally agree, Thor. Yeah. Not only does like just speaking about the game is good practice for talking and being an engaging streamer, but it genuinely also helps me solve the puzzle. Like sometimes I'll be like, why does it want me to go this way? And I'll be like, oh my God. It helped me on Neva a couple times last night as I was talking about what the game wanted me to do. I solved the puzzle. I feel like I'm a better gamer when I'm streaming than when I'm alone on my couch. Gaming with others is kind of when I'm at my peak gamer.
At your peak gamer. I love it.
Peak gamer.
Yeah. And you are a peak gamer. We know that about you.
Thank you. That's what I always like to say. Put it on my grave.
Here lies a peak gamer. Wow. With that, we have to wrap the show. That's the end for us. Thank you, chat, for joining us for another episode of Patch Notes. Hopefully you learned something. Keep your questions coming. We'll be back on November 20th with another episode of Patch Notes. But in the meantime, stay tuned to our socials for announcements about our VTuber stream, because we do want to talk more about that for sure. And then we also have Twitch Public Access next Friday, October 25th, spooky season. What is the plan for Twitch Public Access, Mary?
We're definitely going to have some spoopy activities. I'll be dressing up as a video game character. I think a lot of the people will be going over some of the most amazing games, updates, highlights, things from Hispanic Heritage Month that the guilds have been up to, of course, and Halloween season. So we'll probably be talking about a lot of spoopy games and other things that you can play if you're into scary stuff and things like that. It's going to be a pretty packed show, considering it's also past TwitchCon. I think we'll do like a TwitchCon wrap as well, like what happened at San Diego in case you missed it type thing. So it'll be good. Hopefully you will all be there. It should be a good show.
That's next Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific time if you want to tune in. I want to thank Adam Butterfoss for joining us to talk about shared chat. I'd like to thank all of the folks in the production room helping get us up on stream, making us look and sound great. In particular, I want to shout out Mark. It's Mark's birthday, so happy birthday to Mark. And everybody drop a nice
Mark.
HBD in the chat for Mark. And I want to thank our product folks for helping us answer questions and helping us put the show together. Thank you so much. It's actually a pretty big team that it takes to put this show together for you all every month, and we're proud to work on it. We're proud to do it. Until next time, until November 20th for the next episode of Patch Notes, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll see you soon. Oh,
thanks
actually,
everybody
before
for
we go,
watching Chaotic Abs, I'm never playing Fortnite with you. I will play
we are
something
gonna
else.
raid. We are gonna raid. Mary, we're gonna raid Blizz.
Oh, sick. I love Blizz.
Blizz is live. Blizz is a new ambassador. Hopefully Blizz is being good on stream today. Let's see what happens when we drop in on them. But so yeah, if you get in there, tell them Twitch sent you, and thank you so much for watching. We'll see you all soon.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. This is